So, good morning. Second year BCom Computer Applications, third semester Rdbms, fifth unit distributed databases and client server databases. So, distributed databases. What are the distributed databases? What is the structure of distributed databases? How to use or how to implement distributed databases? What are the advantages and disadvantages of distributed databases? And what are the features, applications, advantages? So we start with centralized database system. So there are two database systems basically. First one is independent or static independent database system and centralized database system. So in independent database system, the entire database is stored in one place, in one computer. But in centralized databases, the same database can be used by many number of users, or it can be split up into small parts and store and use by multiple users. So what is the applications or what are the features of centralized database system? Is single front end, one place to keep data, logs, if processor fails, system fails. So these are the same features. Means a single front end means generally in desktop database or in single databases, only one front end can be used, and not more than one. Similarly, one place to keep data, logs, means the database should be created and maintained in one place, and it should be kept in one place. The same database can be shared and used by many users. If that system that contains the database fails, if the processor of that system fails, the entire system will fall, or entire applications will stops. So what are the softwares? Means application, SQL front-end, SQL query, transaction processing, file access. So these are the basic components. So what are distributed databases? In distributed database systems, multiple processors and plus memories are used. Means more than one processor and more than one type of RAM are used, and heterogeneity and autonomy of components. Why do we need distributed database? Means example, IBM has offices in London, New York and Hong Kong. Employees data, employee number, name, title, salary. Where should the employee data table reside? So why do we need distributed databases? Means so the same database should be shared and available in multiple places and different places, and used like a single database. That is the main purpose of that is the main theme of using this distributed database concept. So the same database can be kept in multiple places, and it should be used like that. The same database can be used or accessed from a single place. That is the main theme of the or use of this distributed database concept. So we may use the same database as the structure of the same copies of the same database in keep in multiple places. అంటే ఒకే డేటాబేస్ని మనము మల్టిపుల్ ప్లేసెస్లో స్టోర్ చేసి మల్టిపుల్ ప్లేసెస్లో మనం యాక్సెస్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద మెయిన్ థీమ్ ఆఫ్ ద distributed databases. So mostly employee data is managed at office where employees works, example payroll, benefits, hire, etc. and fire. Periodically IBM needs consolidated access to employees. So these are the examples. So this is the example, or this is the some structural example of the distributed database or ordinary databases and their pros and cons. So in the same database can be kept in London payroll application and employee database, New York and other place. By using internet we may connect all these things. Problem is New York and Hong Kong payroll apps run very slowly. Internet. So much better here. Hong Kong database is much better. So distribution provides opportunities for parallel execution. So what another feature of distributed databases is a distribution of databases or distribution of the same database, means the same structural database in multiple places is used by is used with some parallel execution. Parallel execution means executing the same queries with multiple at the same in multiple locations at the same time. So replication improves availability. Replication means a replication of or repetition of data or data information in databases improves availability. Means the same database can be available in multiple places. So homogeneous distributed databases and database architecture. So in a homogeneous distributed databases, all sites have identical software, are aware of each other and agree to cooperate in processing user requests. Each site surrenders part of its automaticity, and in a homogeneous distributed, different sites may use different schemes and softwares. So these are the another type of so this is the basic structure of the distributed database structure. So shared memory, first concept is shared memory, shared disk, and shared nothing, and hybrid example. So in the shared disk we may share the same disk or the data or information like hard disk by multiple places, by multiple locations. Second one is shared memory. Shared memory means we can also share the memory of the computer. So issuing for selecting architecture. So what are the issues relating to database architecture? Means reliability, scalability, geographic distribution of data, performance, and cost. So these are the main important concepts are related to distributed database. First one is cost, means cost is very high, and performance means how the databases are executed, means how speed the databases are executed. Geographic distribution of data means how the large database can be split up into small databases and used in multiple places. Scalability and reliability. So parallel or distributed database systems, more similarities than differences. So typically parallel databases means fast interconnect, homogeneous software, high performance, and transparency. Distributed databases means geographically distributed. Geographically distributed means the same database. There are here the database can be used by or can be used, the same copy of this database can be used by multiple places or multiple places. That data sharing is good. Any may run into disconnected operation possible. So distributed databases, what are the challenges or problems, issues? Means first one is deciding what data goes where. Means in distributed databases, how which part of data or which tables are allocated to which places depends on data access patterns of major applications. Two sub problems: fragmentation and allocation. Fragmentation means partition of tables into fragments. Allocation means allocate fragments into nodes. So fragmentation means partition of tables into fragments. Means we can fragment. Fragment means divide. We can divide large table into small fragments or portions. Allocation means allocate fragments to nodes. Means we can allocate each fragment into different parts of databases, different locations of the databases. So distributed data storage. Assume a relational data model, replication, fragmentation. So So what is a replication? System maintains multiple copies of data stored in different sites for faster retrieval and fault tolerance. So fragmentation means a relation is partitioned into several fragments stored in distant sites. So replication and fragmentation can be combined. Means a relation is partitioned into several fragments and system maintains several identical replicates of it. So replication. What is replication? Generally in distributed databases, there are two main concepts are used: replication of database and fragmentation of database. Replication means repetition, or the same database can be used. The copy of the database can be multiple copies, or a copy of the same database or data can be used at multiple sites, can be used at store and used, can be stored and used at multiple sites for faster retrieval and fault tolerance. Means the same database which is stored in one city or one place can be kept and can be kept and used by the multiple used at multiple sites for faster retrieval. For faster retrieval means accessing speed is very high, and without tolerance, fault tolerance means without any errors or like that. Fragmentation. What is fragmentation? Fragmentation means a relation is partitioned into several fragments stored in distinct sets. Another method of using distributed databases distributed data storage is fragmentation. Means relation is partitioned into several fragments stored in distinct sets. Means the original database or the original relation or relational database or the original database is partitioned. What is partitioned? Means can be split up into small portions into several fragments stored at distinct sites. That means we can split the same database into small multiple fragments and portions, and these multiple small portions can be used at different locations. So data replication. A relation or fragment of a relation is replicated if it is stored redundantly into or more sites. A relation of or a fragment of relation is replicated if it is stored redundantly into or more sites. Full replication of relation is the case where these are the different cases. So data replication. What are the advantages of replication? Means repetition of data, availability, parallelism, and reduced data transfer. So availability means failure of site containing relation does not result in unavailability of relation is replicate success. Means what are the benefits or what are the advantages of using availability is generally if the same database can be kept and maintained at different sites or locations. If one site is failed, or if one site at one location is failed, there is no problem with the running of the database. Why? Because the database can be run from other sites. So that is the main availability of the databases. Second one is parallelism. Means queries on relation are may be processed by several nodes in parallel. Means parallelism means, what is a parallelism? Means doing the same thing or doing the same job by in multiple ways or in multiple time slices or multiple at the same time. Means different queries or the same query can be run, or different queries can be run by different sites, or same query can be run by multiple sites at the same time. Third one is reduced data transfer. Reduced data transfer means relation R is available locally at each site containing a replica of R. Means data transfer rate is very reduced. Means the same relation or the table is available locally at the each site, so that the transfer rate or the network transfer rate is very less. And what are the disadvantages of replication? Means increased cost of updates. Each replica of relation R must be updated. Means updations are why? Because multiple updations can exist at multiple locations, so that generally updates takes some time and costs. Increased complexity of concurrency control. Concurrent updates to distinct replicas may lead to means concurrency may exist. Concurrency, what is concurrency? The same data can try to access by the multiple users at the same time. So what is the solution for this? Choose one copy as primary copy and apply concurrency control operations on primary copy. Data fragmentation. So another technique or another way to use distributed databases is data fragmentation. Fragmentation means split up of the same data into multiple parts. So division of relation R into fragments. Fragment means small portions, R1, R2, Rn, which contains sufficient information to reconstruct relation R. So the same relation means some query or some table into some different fragments into small fragments like R1, R2, R3, and again by using it at different locations, and later they can reconstruct or rejoin into a single relation R. So horizontal, again there are two fragmentations, horizontal fragmentation and vertical fragmentation. Horizontal fragmentation means each tuple of R is assigned to one or more fragments. Vertical fragmentation into each tuple means record. Each record of relation R is assigned to one or more fragments. Vertical fragmentation means the schema for R is split into several smaller schemes. So what are the advantages of fragmentation? So we begin with another slide.